All right, Dana joins us again with a look at this very hot weather we're experiencing this week.
I know, especially in comparison to yesterday, it feels very, very summery out there today. And it's unfortunately going to be even hotter tomorrow and Thursday, but we have a lot to talk about. And in addition to the heat, we don't have a ton of precip to talk about, but first, these are our high temperatures that we reached out there today. A lot of us in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Keep in mind, our average high temperature for this time of year is 75. Today we got to 85 in Portland, 94 in Freiburg, 91 in Augusta, a little bit cooler along the down east coastline where we had a sea breeze kick up in the afternoon. And in addition to the heat today, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of clouds kind of going through the center of the state there, but overall a mostly sunny day in addition to the heat and humidity. Now, I do want to briefly talk about the precip. We do have a couple of showers moving through areas of New Hampshire, and a couple of those might sneak across into areas like Rangeley, back into Freiburg overnight tonight, but overall we're not expecting a ton of storm activity out there, and that's going to kind of be the theme for most of the days this week, because having these hot and humid conditions gives us the perfect conditions to see some pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. So we could see a couple through areas of western Maine and into northern Maine, particularly kind of tomorrow evening. This is Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then a similar deal on Thursday, though I think we might see a bit more shower and storm activity a little bit later in the afternoon, because we're going to have a cold front move through from north to south through the state, which might pop up a couple of thunderstorms, especially through central and southern Maine into the late evening hours on Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to have some more cloud cover build in, and that will give us a relief from the heat. So our temperatures, especially tomorrow and Thursday, getting into the mid to upper 90s once again. However, once you take that humidity into account, it's going to feel like temperatures over 100, possibly up to 105 in some areas inland. But then a cold front comes through Thursday night, and temperatures on Friday are going to be much more tolerable. In addition, it will also drop the humidity, because today and through almost the rest of the week, we're going to have very humid to oppressive conditions. And then once that cold front goes through, much more comfortable and cooler as we get into the weekend. So because of all the heat and humidity, the National Weather Service has issued an excessive heat warning for all of the areas here shaded in pink. And a fun fact, it's actually the first time the National Weather Service in Caribou has ever issued an excessive heat warning for their area. All of the other places in the state, with the exception of the down east coastline, is in this orange color, which is a heat advisory. So why exactly is all of this happening? It's because of this heat dome, or this large area of high pressure to our south, and that's bringing a lot of southerly flow into our area, which is going to stick around until a cold front moves from north to south throughout the evening hours on Thursday, and that's going to allow a high from our north to bring in some cooler weather for the weekend. Marine forecast sees 2 to 3 feet, water 58 degrees. So if you are going to be going to the beach, just keep in mind that the ocean water is still very cold, so take those proper precautions. So Brian and Amanda, it's going to be very hot the next 2 days, so be sure to stay hydrated and try to stay cool. Once that cold front goes through, it'll be a little bit cooler Friday, though temps still in the lower 80s. However, much more comfortable coming up this weekend.
Good to know for planning purposes. Thank you, Dana.
Of course.